Dear students, good morning to you all and welcome to my fourth uh, class on capacitors. Today I would like to discuss energy stored in a parallel plate capacitor. In fact, when a parallel plate capacitor is charged with a battery, then after disconnecting battery, the capacitor stores energy in it, and that is called by the name of electrostatic potential energy. So today we shall see that how can we derive formula for that energy. Before going to derive that, we must recall that in case of a parallel plate capacitor, suppose this is parallel plate capacitor, these are two plates having area A separated by a distance D. In this case, when this capacitor is charged by using a battery of potential difference between its terminals, say V, then here you may show some key. When the key is made on, that is when we switch on this circuit, the charge begins to deposit on the plate of the capacitor from 0. Suppose the charge gets deposited from minimum value 0 to maximum value Q. At any intermediate state, if the charge on the plates are plus Q and minus Q, and the potential difference due to these charges developed between the plates is suppose V, then as we know that Q is proportional to V, so a graph plotted between Q and V will be a graph plotted between Q and B will be a straight line. If two quantities are proportional to each other, the graph plotted between them is always a straight line, and the slope of that straight line gives the ratio of these two quantities, which remain always constant. Now if we find out slope between points A and B of this straight line graph, what do we get? Suppose this is delta Q and this is delta V, then slope AB equal to delta Q by delta B, and this is a constant which is equal to capacitance of parallel plate capacitor. Now, during the course of charging, we select some arbitrary point on this graph, and here we find that the potential is V, potential difference between the plate is V, and charge deposited on plate is Q. At this instant of time, if a small amount of charge dq is transferred from one plate to another plate, then from the definition of potential difference we can say that work done in transferring a charge dq from one plate to another plate at the instant when potential difference between the plates is V equals dW equal to V dQ. Now try to understand what I want to say. We are going to derive expression for electrostatic energy stored in a parallel plate capacitor when it is charged with a battery with potential difference V, which enables capacitor to store maximum amount of charge, this capital Q. Since during the course of charging, charge grows from value 0 and goes to maximum value capital Q. At any intermediate stage, we consider that the charge on capacitor already grown is a small q, and at this instant the potential difference is this small v. Since with the growing charge potential difference will also change, so at this instant if a very small amount of charge, that is dq, is transferred between the two plates from one plate to another plate, the work done will be equal to v into dq. To understand this expression, you will have to recall the definition of potential difference. What is that? Potential difference between any 2 points. Potential difference between any 2 points, suppose A and B, is defined as, suppose here potential is BA, here potential is BB, and BA is greater than BB, so potential difference will be equal to BA minus BB. This potential difference means work required to be done in transferring unit positive charge from VB to VA. VB to VA. This is the meaning of potential difference. Here potential difference between the plate is V and the charge transferred is dq. Since work done per unit charge is this potential difference B, a small b, this is a small b, then the total work done in transferring a small amount of charge dq will be V into dq. Further, if the charge stored on the plates of capacitor is from 0 to q, then in this process the total amount of work done may be given as V dq, and the limit of this integral is 0 to q as the charge is grown from 0 to maximum value q. Now you see this V, the capacitance of capacitor will be equal to Q upon V. So for this V, we can write Q upon C. Substituting this value here, we get Q by C dq. Since C is constant, it will come out of this integral, and here we have Q dq, that is equal to 1 by C Q square by 2, 0 to Q, and this equals 1 by C Q square by 2 minus 0 square by 2, and finally this work done comes out to be equal to half Q square by C. Half Q square by C. This is the work done in developing charge from 0 to Q on the plates of capacitor. This work done remains stored as electrostatic potential energy. Therefore, electrostatic potential energy stored in capacitor charged to charge Q and potential difference B will be U equal to half Q square by C. Since this Q, for this Q we can write CB whole square, and this is equal to half CB square. Further, it can be brought in terms of Q and V. For this, you see, this is Q square, and for this C, what can we write? Q by V. What it would be now? Half into Q into V. Thus, in three different forms, electrostatic potential energy can be written, that is Q square by 2C, that is in terms of charge and capacitance, and half CB square, it is in terms of capacitance and potential difference between the plate, and the same may also be written as half into Q into V, that is in terms of charge and potential difference. So this is the required expression for electrostatic potential energy. Required expression for electrostatic potential energy. Now another thing which is of importance is energy density of parallel plate capacitor. Energy density of parallel plate capacitor, this is defined as electrostatic potential energy divided by volume of capacitor. Electrostatic potential energy, we can write it as half CB square. We can also write half into Q into B or Q square by 2C. But here we are taking half CB square. What about the volume of capacitor? You see, suppose these are plates of capacitor. These are plates of capacitor, and the distance between them is D. Now you look upon this figure, it looks like a parallelopipe. In case of a symmetrical figure in 3 dimensions, volume is given by area of base multiplied by height. What is area of base here? A. That is the plate area. And what is the height? That is D, which is nothing but the distance between the two plates. Therefore, here for volume we can write A into D. A into D. Now, from here we can write CB square by A into D. Further, for C we can write A epsilon naught by D, and then this B square by A into D. This is for C. For C we have already derived formula A epsilon naught by D. If there is no dielectric, if there is dielectric, we can write it as AK epsilon naught by D. Now this becomes A epsilon naught, here we have 2 also, 1 by 2. So 1 by 2, this A can be cancelled. Here we shall not have any A. What is left here? B square by D square. Since B by D equal to electric field between the plates, therefore this can be written as half epsilon naught E square. This is energy density of parallel plate capacitor, that is half epsilon naught E square. This topic is very easy to understand and frequently comes in board examination. The question may be asked like this: so that energy density of a parallel plate capacitor is equal to half epsilon naught E square if there is a dielectric medium of dielectric constant K between the plates electrostatic potential energy U will be equal to per unit volume will be U by V. Here V is for volume, that is equal to 1 by 2 epsilon naught K E square. So that is all about the energy stored in a parallel plate capacitor when it is fully charged. This is a very short video, but is most important topic from this section. In next video we shall discuss about combination of capacitors, and then we shall see that what will be the capacitance of parallel plate capacitor when the space between two plates are filled partially with a dielectric medium. Thank you very much. I hope that this video will be very much useful for you.